All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chocolate ship shape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll take a great deal for you.
Eye patch and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
And we're back. I think. Okay, let's see here. Sinuses are all messed up from yesterday. Good grief. So we'll look in, we'll make sure everything's working in the chat. It looks like Dennis, well, I know Dennis is in. He was first into the chat tonight. Bortners are in. The Bills are in. Tam. Bob. Looks like Kevin's in. Welcome aboard. And I imagine if Kevin's in, Clay is probably not far behind either, so welcome. And we'll see here. Okay. Oh, I see Ohio Relic Hunter saying, send it this way. Somebody must have some rain to spare, because we could use it. It's crazy. Things are so dry. In fact, Steve in the house. Things are so dry that I was trying to test a mower yesterday. I don't know why, because everybody's yard is dead. It's brown. Although I'm sure that'll change when we do get some rain. But the mower I was testing was a 48-inch deck. And I'm not even sure why I tried to clean it up, because as soon as I engaged the blades, man, it was like Pigpen. I was in the middle of a dust storm. You couldn't tell what I was doing, and all you could see was this trail of dust. But that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So, I'm going to guess that the audio's getting out okay. That's a plus. Definitely. Oh yeah, we did have some lightning. We did have some. Let's see here. Looks like oh, that's a good one, Bill. So hot I saw a bird pulling a worm out of the ground with potholders. And it has been hot. I want to say yesterday with the heat index, we were in the triple digits, and I'm out in Hell's Kitchen, formerly known as the driveway, just sweating to death. At least I had enough sense to come in and, cool off for a few minutes here and there, trying to get things done. Wanted to get things buttoned up on that mower so that we can get it out the door. See what happens. Time will tell. I don't know. Either way, before we move on any further, I guess, first off, I don't know if everybody saw the news or not. For those who didn't catch it, and I'm not sure how you couldn't have caught it, our condolences go out to Kelly Underwood's friends and family. She unfortunately has passed away. And it seems like, as much as I hate to say it, it seems like this is starting to become a recurring occurrence here on the show. Just a couple episodes back, we started off the show with the news that Carl Fismer had passed away. And now here we are tonight mentioning that Kelly has passed away. And for those of you that have been following or have heard, obviously you know what the situation was. And it did seem to come on quite suddenly, and didn't, unfortunately, well, I don't know, bittersweet, depending on how you look at it. It didn't drag on very long, and it's unfortunate when these things happen. But suffice to say, like I said, our condolences out to Kelly Underwood's family and friends, and keeping everybody in our thoughts. That's all we can do. But hey, on to other topics. How's it going, Chuck?
Okay, now. Just a public but well, I just clicked the link to get on with you, and the tones dropped. I'm listening to that going, well, I'll be gone for a bit. I knew what it was. This is a repeat thing with this one.
Right. Sit down, hear the tones, and go, well, hell.
Yeah, I know it. Just, non-emergent, get there, help the ambulance service put them back. So,
well,
that's what we did.
In that respect, though, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyway, what's going on tonight?
Well, we just unfortunately gave the news to those who hadn't heard that Kelly had passed away.
Yes. Well,
we did mention that. And now we're on to metal detecting discussions, because people have been asking. They want to know what we're hearing about the vortex, and we've actually got.
I got the Garrett letter today on email, and they're in production. They are now in production, expecting a mid-September or a little later release.
Woohoo!
So, we'll see. And I saw a lot more pictures of it and talk about it and use of it and what it can do. But without having it in hand, I can't explain too much. So it's coming. We know that. It's a pretty sharp looking outfit. Now, did you guys see Ringy's post over out of Australia on it? And what they've been doing with it, and they were finding coins and that kind of stuff. So, but they weren't talking about working Goldfield with it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had not seen the post. I know he was over in Australia with it.
Yep.
I know he had been finding coins, and I don't know, maybe he has, and we just haven't heard about this yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been a greatly missed opportunity if he didn't try it in the Goldfields.
Maybe something else will come out, because they spent quite a bit of time over there, and KG was there for a while, but he had come back, I believe, since Morgan had her surgery and that kind of stuff. So hopefully we'll know more about it here in the next week or two, and we can talk about it some more.
Yeah, because, my thought would be, okay, if he made a post about the coins and stuff, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
If he did utilize that opportunity to hit the Goldfields, I would have held back on that a little bit and used that for another post. So it's possible.
It's
not saying it will, but it's possible. We may see another post.
Yeah, that country has some pretty intense soil mineralization in places. So be interesting to see what they tried it, if they had any luck with it, and that type of stuff throughout different areas of detecting.
Absolutely, I agree. This is basically the next new release in the line of releases from manufacturers. And we want to know, how did it work? How did it not work if it didn't work? How well is it doing? Is it better for one environment as opposed to another? Is it better in this scenario or that scenario? Is it more of an all-terrain? Things like that.
Yep. We're waiting just like everybody else. It used to be that not only field testers, if you would say get them, then dealers could weigh in also. Some were sent out that way. So we'll see. We'll just see what's coming down the pipe, and we'll go from there.
Right. And I see Shannon wants to know if you have had the opportunity to detect in Australia.
No, I have not. That's one place I haven't gotten to. It's kind of a list thing, but we'll see if that happens. They were talking about hosting events for Mine Lab over there and having a dealer conference, and we'll see if that comes to pass, and I'll check it out. But I've recently checked out some of the airfare prices. Supposedly they're coming down a little bit, but it's like,
Oh, but they're still salty.
mm-hmm. Oh my God.
But I would imagine that is one of those where, like you said, it's kind of a list sort of thing. Especially knowing how much you love to prospect in Alaska.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you had the opportunity to go to Australia, you're looking for gold.
Yep. So, and yeah, Shannon, Jill would go. We talked about it. We got looking at prices. She says, let's just think about that for a little bit. I said, okay, because if I'm going, I'm not going for 4 days only. I'm going to go for 14 days, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it worth your time.
Yep, that's right. Yep. And Dennis is talking about possibly going. He's been talking about that. I think he's been there already one time.
And I know people, I've talked to people that they have traveled from the U.S. over to Australia, kind of like a bucket list thing. They always wanted to go there. And when they got back, I'm like, you know, I know it was a salty trip. I understand that. But now having the opportunity to have done it, if you had the chance to do it over, would you save your money and not go? And they're like, no, absolutely not. I would, if I had the opportunity, I would go again. The scenery was phenomenal.
Yep. And I've been through the Caribbean. I've been to Hawaii and detected there. I've been down into Costa Rica area. I've been very fortunate to get to dive and that kind of stuff over the years on wrecks and see all that. And I've been up into Canada and Alaska and down into Mexico quite often down there. And I've hunted gold down there and did okay. It's just, it's dicey. Even today, it's gotten worse. The people, yeah. So, and throughout the United States, England, Italy, and some other places. So I've been lucky.
And maybe soon, Turkey.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see what kind of setup they get going.
And it seems to me like I can recall on one of those diving adventures, I believe you had a story about a killer whale.
That was in Alaska. And I was down on a dredge, and it's not one of the fancy outfits. This was a smaller one, and 3 of us on board, actually 4. And yeah, it was, the water was really good for there. I mean, you could see a couple feet real well, and then it got a little hazy and something went by. I just happened to be looking up. We've been running the dredge and I see a large form go past. And I thought, ooh, what was that? That was big. And it came back by out of, it's just a shadowy, you go like this. And then I realized what it might be.
I'm comfortable.
So I started giving the yank on the line. And I'd been in there quite a while. I had a couple of hours. And they pulled me up. What's the matter? I said, I got something swimming around down here that's big. Yeah, there's a killer whale, a couple of them. They're looking for seals. I said, I'm dressed in a black outfit. I've got fins on. I don't want to look like a seal.
Right, yeah, it's probably time for me to get out of the water.
Yeah, it was. I never saw it again once I got out. Never didn't come real close or anything. And they said, they don't bother us. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm kind of new to this. I don't know if they'll bother us, but me, I don't know.
Right, yeah, that's when you're kind of going, well, that's for you guys, and good for you if that's the case, but I don't want to find out if I'm a tasty seal.
And we had a fantastic run on gold in that spot. That was good. We had good dredging there. So, fantastic.
Just had to watch out for the
Still, and I had a run in with a big bull shark down in Jamaica.
Ooh.
That's the biggest shark I've ever seen. And they estimated him, there was a group of us down on this thing, and they figured him 15, 16 foot long. Cruising by us. So, but we kept going on that one. Bull sharks bite. They will.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And it isn't even like they'll come up and take a chunk out of you just to see what she tastes like. They're a little more on the aggression side.
Yeah. Or it was interesting.
And at 16 feet, 15, 16 feet,
he's a big fish.
that's a big fish, yeah.
Fish. So a lot of guys just go about what's going on. They'll see that kind of stuff and they'll make sure it's not trolling around and just keep working.
Oh, yeah, probably going, you don't pay any attention to him. He'll leave you alone. Yeah,
So I just did my full open water dive, and we went down to 150 feet. Came back and went to a 68, 70 foot level on a small wreck, and we were looking, and that's when he came out from under a coral. I wouldn't call it a cave, but he comes shooting out of there, and everybody went, whoa, and he went on his way. He didn't come back, so.
kind of like maybe a coral outcropping or something.
Oh. So.
Neo Geo chiming in from the West Coast.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Neil. I'm sorry. Ellen, I see a Hi Chuck on there. I see Pacifico. How you doing, Steve-O? Yeah. Hey, Tam. A lot of people in tonight. Mike, L'Aquamet.
Yeah. Shout out to Metal Detecting Central
Illinois. Everybody. Yeah. It cooled down today nicely. We got about a half inch of rain, so I may actually get to go out tomorrow and detect for a while. I'm hoping to.
There you go. Yeah.
Little warm up time. I got to get a little warm up time here before we leave. So.
Yeah, right. And I don't know that anybody asked in the chat, but in case they did, since we do have a ballpark release date, do we have a ballpark map?
Ballpark what?
As a ballpark pricing.
Not a bit. Nothing. They didn't have anything on there at all. And the letter was sent to me through distribution and Garrett, and they say nope, no prices yet. So not yet. I really don't have a clue because there are several different models of this, as usual, levels. So that'll all be different pricing.
Yeah, that is true. There is different pricing. And
yep.
I guess speaking of which, I know early on when Garrett was when they were beginning to generate the hype, a lot of people were kind of turned off on the fact that it sounded like you were going to have to pay for updates. And
I had seen that, and I haven't seen a thing about it since, so I don't know.
Well, and I was one that thought, that could be a slippery slope, but Steve Moore, when he was on Detect America, he actually clarified that. The updates, the software updates are free. But when you purchase that machine, you can do upgrades. Okay. Not an update, but an upgrade. And that's what you're paying for.
Okay. Well, if they could take a machine and continually upgrade, add full new programming versus tweaking programming, like fixing an iron bias situation or something that's not working. Yeah, there's two differences there. That could be probable.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe this is a bad example, but say for example, like the Minelab Vanquish series,
Right.
you had the 40, 440, 5, to the best of my knowledge, there are going to be 3 tiers of the Vortex. And if you buy the base Vortex,
Mm-hmm.
once you get to learn that machine a little bit, maybe you think, oh, I wish I would have bought the next level up.
Right.
Now, instead of selling that machine so you can go buy the next level up, no, you can just pay for the upgrade, which is essentially just the price difference between that base unit and the next level.
Correct.
And now you've got that machine.
Yeah, you got the main frame.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is kind of a unique thing. I've not heard of a manufacturer doing it that way.
No, I have not, but, like we've had Model X, Y, and Z in the same program type thing, but with not as much programming. If you took the mainframe model, the base one, and they said, oh, you can turn that into the Z model by just buying it, we'll download the programming in. That makes sense.
Yeah. So in that respect, I like the way they did that. They thought that out. That's good for the end user. And that is just the upgrade side. Now, if there is a software update, like you said, to fix, say, an iron bias situation or something like that, add bottle cap reject, whatever, who knows what they'll add. Those are free, just like they would be from any other manufacturer.
Right. We got a question in the chat here from Emery. Anybody wants to chime in, go ahead. Does the type of soil change what detector you use? It depends upon the severity of the soil change. Now, if, let's say we're in central Illinois here, it's fairly benign, but we go all the way down to southern Illinois, it changes quite a bit mineralization-wise. Not severe, but enough that you're going to change some programming and you're going to be using ground balance, or you'll be using auto track, or you may be thinking about changing a detector. Now let's go from here to Orange, Virginia, and I've used standard detectors out there in some areas, but others, PI's king out there for relic hunters.
Oh, absolutely.
And the same way in Arizona, certain parts of Arizona, the mineralization, even parts of Alaska and Australia. If you're gold hunting, PI is generally king.
Right. Yeah, even areas of California. And I don't know if Emery has seen this before or not. I'm sure that you have. I know I have. You can hunt, say you get a permission for 3 properties right next to each other. You can see the ground conditions change that
Right.
quickly, going from one property to the next. And
in one state,
that's when you ground battle.
like Illinois, from north to south, very northeast corner has some mineralization. Heavy enough that I'll run ground balance in certain areas up there, and that's due to the way the glaciers came in and that kind of stuff up there. And they do mining. There's a lot of lead, and south.
Yep.
You get deep South Illinois, you got more mineralization. Missouri, northern Missouri is very similar to this northeast corner across the tier, Iowa. But you go up to northern Iowa in the corner up there, you get that mineralization on into Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin. The further north you go up, you get closer to Michigan. Of course, those guys they're hunting copper age stuff, copper nuggets, and they're running a machine totally different than we do here. So you got to learn how to set your machine up for the changing conditions.
Yeah, because I mean, you get into say southern Michigan, you're okay, but you get further into Michigan, then you got the copper mining, and even the same way here in Ohio, like here in my area of Ohio, we're fairly benign, but you get down further, the further you get into southern Ohio, the more mineralization and things that you start running into because of the strip mining.
Right. So I'm reading here, let's see. Shannon talks about New Jersey soil being way different than here. I mean, it's like when you put a particular program into any machine that has that availability for use where I am at, and then travel, you've got to rethink and reprogram to adapt the unit to the soil you're over. That's everywhere.
Right. What works for you in your environment does not necessarily mean it works in all environments.
If you've ever read any of Andy's books on the mine labs, anything that he's wrote about, he'll tell you that. Your program here does not fit the guy's program in California and vice versa, or Ohio or New Jersey to Illinois, or even larger part of the bigger states. It changes.
Right.
Changes all the time.
And he'll even go through, and people can see this when they look through his books, he'll share some of the settings that people use in their environment and the items that they've found. And when you go through and look at those program settings, they are different.
Yeah. And even traveling from here to Peoria, parts of Peoria, when you get out there, is the glacial moraine where the glacier stopped and receded. That brought a lot of mineral into the soil as it came through. And you were programmed just 100 miles from here. So it changes.
Yeah, I mean, the ground conditions can change. Some people, it may be from one state to the next. For other people, depending on where you're at in a set environment, it could within 15, 20 feet.
Right. But
you just never know.
I've been in a yard. I don't know if any of you experienced this. You'd be going, you have a little bit of threshold you can hear in the background. You're running, let's say, 0 on your ground balance in my dirt. And all of a sudden, I'll hit a spot and it goes stone silent. There's been a change there. So you can go and hit your auto track and it will try to adjust to it. And all of a sudden things get a little warbly. You can take it out of there and go back to 0. I found, and you just talked about it, where people brought in fill and it's clay and has higher mineralization versus this benign sand and black dirt we have. And all of a sudden it can be in 1 yard. So
yeah. And that's why the ground conditions can change so fast, that because you don't know where they brought this dirt in from, if a property did have fill dirt brought in, and what they brought in. And that's why it pays to spend that time with your machine and know how to understand it so that you can change those settings on the fly.
Right.
And make your environment work for you. That's part of being a versatile hunter.
Yep. And I know, like, if you got Neo out on the West Coast, he's not running like we are, I'm quite sure. He's got different, even, he moves from one area to the next along the coast, and it changes constantly, quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And like Shannon was saying, the soil in Jersey is different than Illinois. Well, as you get more out towards the coast, onto the Jersey shore. Now you're dealing with the black mineralized sand quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
You change
some of those areas out on the Jersey Shore, which I'm sure Steve can chime in the chat on that. I mean, there were some areas that some of the hunters would refer to as the torture chamber,
Oh, yeah.
simply because of all the mineralization. I mean, if you went in to hunt that area, it's not that you couldn't make it a productive area, but you really had to understand your machine and listen close for what you were looking for.
Right. So it's an experience that you have to go adjust your unit and your mindset to, because I'm not finding anything, and and sometimes auto tune will work it enough. You can take a look at what it set itself at and get out of auto tune and then just work around that setting for a while. But if you're not finding much, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be because it's not there to be found.
Right.
It may be your detector's not seeing it because of the settings that you're using.
Yeah. And all beaches are not the same.
No.
West Coast beaches, you go up into Oregon and stuff, they got black sand beaches. Black sand beaches, black sand is hematite and magnetite. It's iron for the most part. And then it goes back to a standard salt beach. And then you get into iron infested beaches where there's been all kinds of things washed up over the years. And down in Aruba, my God, there's stuff that's all over. So you're working with iron in that soil. So you got to adjust for the conditions that are there, not here, there. You move from here to there, and it could be totally different.
Kind of like we were saying a couple episodes back, that for people that want to go over to England and hunt, you can't just take your skill and experience from here in the U.S. and expect that to correlate to England, because those targets ring up in different areas.
Yep.
Different conditions, different targets. You have to be able to understand your machine and be able to, like you said, kind of change your mindset as well and make your environment work for you.
Right. Right. Anyway, changing the subject, I see ORH is doing pretty well as a DoorDash driver.
Yeah. I want to say that might have been last week, maybe. I called him to see how the Dash for Cash was doing, and he said he was pretty pleased with it. He was happy with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for you there, ORH, that a boy. Now you don't when you pick up, you don't check out what they bought, huh? You don't look at it, make sure it's edible.
Or whether or not they got their order right.
Yeah. That'd be a thought. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that works. I don't know that he necessarily knows what was ordered. Like, maybe they ordered a sandwich without pickles or something. I don't know that it goes that in depth. I know that he gets notified, hey, there's an order to pick up here for such and such and be delivered to X address or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And goes in and grabs it and takes it and drops it off.
Nope.
So I call it the Dash for Cash.
Oh, he says nope. He makes sure at the restaurant, don't open bags in car. Oh, Phil's feeling old tonight. He's going to bed. Oh no. Well, Phil, have a good night's sleep.
Yes, get your beauty rest, beauty sleep. I don't know if that's a thing of feeling old or a thing of feeling tired, because he seems to work awful hard.
I understand. There are days.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes there's those days where all you get is 2 pieces of pizza and that's on the run.
Yeah. Or we don't get anything for about 7.5 hours coming in after a call, and you got 3 hours of work to do, and we try to order up pizzas just to have something.
Yep. Sometimes that's the way it rolls. That's what you got to do. You got to be able to roll with it and adapt to your environment.
Right. And this week's been busy with the heat wave that we had the past few days. And actually, it got up in the upper 80s today, but the humidity and that was not bad. We were at 102.
Yeah, today wasn't quite as bad as what it has been the past few.
It was easier to take, but we ran a lot of calls the past couple of days with that heat. A lot of calls.
Oh, yeah. Probably a lot of dehydration or close calls with heat stroke.
Yep. We had 2 of those and a couple others. So, yeah, it's just, when that happens, you're going to get calls. And we have a lot of older folks that will come in. We'll open up the station if they need a cooling place. And we didn't have to, but we will.
Yeah, but it's there in case they need it, and that's the important part. The opportunity is at least there. I mean, hell, you could say another lifetime ago, I used to.
Phil made me want to.
We would bring in container loads of tires, and we would break open these containers, unload these bundles of tires, which were always unstable, and put them onto racks, reload them back into a trailer, and they would get sent off for what they were supposed to have done with them. And when you're in these steel containers, you're literally in an oven. And there were some weeks we'd have 2 or 3 guys drop just because of all that heat.
Yep.
And you really had to watch it. I mean, when you got into them 3-digit heat indexes and everything, you had to make sure you were staying hydrated.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, to be one of them that fell to the wayside.
When I was working for 3M, we worked in what they call level A suits out on the floors because of the dangers of the fumes and chemicals and things like that. And the rooms were hot anyway, and the rooms could get up to 135, even as much as 140. And we were limited at times 15 to 30 minutes a time in there. And you're in this one-piece suit with either a pigtail or air pack on, and you don't see any fat on me. It boils off you. So that kind of has to be watched and checked, and pretty hot. But no, I'm looking forward to some nice weather coming up. They're saying after tomorrow we got some showers and storms possible here.
Yeah, we got some rain. The temperature will be getting, comfortable, and maybe with the rain people can actually get out, because like right now here, you can't find a stitch of green grass anywhere hardly. Everybody's yards are brown. We need rain. We need it bad.
If RH said I need to visit in and put fat on my bones.
Well, Chuck would be a good one to come visit. He knows good food. He'll put all that smoked food to the test.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe even trade a few recipes.
Kevin says 9 days to Dig Fest. I think it's a little longer than that.
Yeah, it's a little longer than that. Because that's like the 16th or the 18th? Something like that. I remember.
The 18th, because I'm out of town on the 11th. So if it's only 9 days, I could make it.
Right.
But so he goes, my bad. And you call yourself an umpire? Did you read the calendar wrong?
Right. Yeah.
Oh well. So hey, Kevin, are you coming over to the club meeting? I'm going to have some stuff for Emery to go back with you.
Oh.
Yep. So.
Oh. Which we'll have to see. I mean, Emery is up for doing a show. We just got to get him situated on a time and place that he's comfortable with, and
there you go. We'll get that done. But keep an eye on Labor Day weekend specials coming up for Labor Day. I can put that out. So keep an eye out. I'm looking for a few items from Mind Lab. They got some specials coming up. And that's all I can say about that.
They got some killer specials coming up.
Yes.
I mean, these are specials. If you've been thinking about pulling the trigger on a certain machine or two,
right,
may want to wait just a little bit longer.
Cool. Nope. And Dennis says he'll be there if Kevin can't make it. So.
Well, maybe Dennis can get it to him.
Yep, we'll get it to you, Emery.
Dennis has hunted with Emery some, so I'm sure that with him.
Same club.
Yeah, definitely.
Barb says she wants one, but she likes her money better. You can't take money with you.
You can eat it too.
Yep. So,
sometimes it takes money, but just remember, it only takes that one find.
That's right. I've seen that one find happen a lot, and I've had it happen. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had it happen too. I mean, I've got the Equinox 800, but then Mind Lab released the 7 and 900s.
Yep.
And that's not to say that the 800 is any slouch either. I mean, in that I've had the 800, I've recovered and returned more than $20,000 worth of jewelry.
Yep. So there's been a few things I found that didn't have to be returned. I'm going to step away for a minute.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky and it doesn't have to be returned, and then you've at least got that gold, if it's gold, that you can turn around and sell for scrap gold, or maybe sell to a collector or something like that. Welcome aboard to Michael. And if you find those pieces that they need to be returned or whatever, who board attached to that item, and then you've got that reward. And I'll tell you what, it sounds silly maybe to some people, but I know people that they have recovered certain items where they have received rewards that not only does it pay for their machine, but it pays for their machine multiple times over in one shot. And, sometimes when you're talking rewards, some people, it's kind of an uncomfortable situation for them. But hey, if the person is going to stuff that money in your pocket, you might as well. I mean, our machines aren't cheap.
Yeah.
Free doesn't chew the steed, so to speak. We'll put it that way. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, I mean, whether you're selling those items that you found that can't be returned, or whether you're returning those items and potentially getting a nice reward for it, you can make those machines pay for themselves.
I've sold quite a few things. I mean, if I don't have like certain tokens in that, I don't have a collection of them, I have sold them. And yep, pit stop, Bill. Anyway, gold's a commodity. And I've sold that. And especially
Right.
someone who puts a stupid amount of money in front of me, I'm going, yeah, it's yours. I've had that happen several times. So
Absolutely. If they do something like that, I'm kind of going, you know what? I don't need this that bad. Sold.
or I'll trade. I've traded
Yeah.
for BU coins. I had particularly, I wouldn't call it rare, but a nice version of a coin, and traded for a BU Morgan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Things I
in
like.
the past, I know of people that they will trade, silver for, say, tokens, dog tags, pins, badges, all sorts of stuff.
We got a guy up here in southeast Minnesota. He will buy your tokens and he'll trade you silver for it. I did it with him. The PK Iowa token. I've done it with other ones with him. He's all he wants tokens.
Yep. And that's the thing. I mean, some people, they're all about the gold, or they're all about the silver, or the history. Some people, they're all about dog tags, or baggage tags, railroad memorabilia, tokens. Everybody's got.
That I've found, there's a clearing section in this house that gets to see the jewelry first, and if she likes it, it's
Right.
If it doesn't fit, it can be traded. So
Yeah. Gotta run it across, gotta run it past the committee first.
that's right. She doesn't care about a dime. She doesn't care about a quarter silver. Now, gold coin is a good thing. They're pretty.
Well, I won't argue that.
Nope.
Won't argue that at all.
So, and if there's something I want and I have something they want, and I don't care, we're going to trade or we'll sell. And when I had a 2-ounce nugget I found a couple years ago, you guys probably saw the video. He threw down $5,000 at the time. I'm like, it's yours, out of town.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that was in your hand long enough, basically, once you got it out of the ground long enough to do that video, maybe get a photo of it, and then it was gone.
It was gone before I ever left Alaska. And I've had another one happen to go away like that. So Jill looked at it. She says, not pretty. Sell it. I did. So,
And that's the thing, especially when it comes to nuggets. If they have the eye appeal, or they're a good specimen piece, or could make a nice jewelry piece, that nugget is automatically more valuable.
oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, a couple that were found this year, one of them is a nice big flat with a pink quartz inlay in it. Gold's around some pinkish colored quartz, reddish pink quartz.
Oh, that would make a phenomenal jewelry piece.
Well, it's too big. It's 2.75 ounces.
Great specimen piece for a collection.
Yeah, lay nice and flat, pretty to look at. That brings big bucks.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And the larger they are, the bigger the price tag.
Yep. Barb says she's bought tons of walkers off of Ed shows, and she just hoards them. There's nothing wrong with hoarding them, but there comes a time when there's a crossroad there, and that particular silver or coin gets to a point you're going, As an example, I need a new outboard motor. That's happened.
Oh, yeah.
One hobby paid for another.
Absolutely. Hell, I can remember, what's that been? 10, maybe 12 years ago now. Chicago Ron, he wanted a new vehicle. All right, it's time to get rid of some of this stuff.
He does.
So he did. Yeah.
That gold, those gold, he knows what he's found, how much he's got, watches the price, has a good buyer, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. And there again, I can't argue with logic like that. I'd do the same thing.
Nope. I've sold gold and silver before when silver and gold got crazy high a couple times, and then it falls back. Right now, gold's crazy high. It's still banging around 2,500 up and down per ounce, $80 a gram. I'm thinking some of it's going to go bye-bye. I got a bunch of rings and different stuff. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Or if you're the type of person that happens to find a bunch of earrings, one here, one there, things like that, and you got a pile of them sitting there going, what am I really doing with these? Send them in.
Yep. There's a few things that I have kept that were unusual or different looking. They're gold. They may only be 10 karat or something, a little pendant, whatever. Kind of threw them aside. If Jill likes one, I found a ring down in Aruba this year. It fit her perfect. Just a plain gold band, nothing in it. She's got that. She's wearing that with a couple others I found. So she keeps them.
Did she go, well, look at that. You found my ring.
Yeah, well, she tells me, just find something that can, fit my fingers. Fit. Once in a while it happens. I usually get these little dinky things, or one that's really super big.
Right, yeah. It's not like you can go out and set the machine to only find, say 7 rings.
See, I want to go out and find a big, heavy chain with a big gold pendant or a gold coin and a bezel on it. That's right. That's a bucket list thing. I want one of those that got lost.
Yeah, I want to find a big, heavy chain that you could tie a German Shepherd to with a gold pendant the size of a hood on.
I found one of those. He still got that. He wears that. That thing is like, oh my God, huge.
Oh yeah, I've seen people find them, and oh man, the weight of them, good grief.
They're crazy. And I saw people down on those beaches in Aruba and down in Mexico, and they are on that shoreline, and they look like a walking jewelry shop.
Oh yeah.
Rings and necklaces and earrings on, and they're out there and they're playing in the water, and I'm thinking, come on.
Oh, right. I'm walking you real close. Be a depositor.
Yeah. Mr. T's gold log chain. Yeah. Bill, you're right. Hello,
Yep.
Ben Dog. How you guys? Hi.
Hey,
Anyway,
welcome.
yeah, a few more people checking in here. A little late, but anyway,
Nah, right.
we'll
They
get
came in.
Emery on. We've got some other people going to be coming on, but I think they're on while I'm gone, according to what Josh says. So ought to be interesting.
Yeah. And I had had this thought cross my mind earlier. I don't know if he would be receptive to it or not. I can't recall if we've ever had Neo on the show. Maybe we should reach out.
That would be, hey, Neil, think about it, buddy.
Yeah, West Coast perspective, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't. It's not that there's never been people from the West Coast on. We do have them on occasionally,
Right.
but it has been a while, and I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I don't believe we've ever had Neo on as a guest.
No. But
It
not
would be
right.
interesting to,
tenure.
what he's finding on his code.
We should do that too. You know what we do at the club? We have a member spotlight, and they get up and talk about them, get printed up. So we should start doing this with a few of our folks here. The Saturday night. We've had Barb on and Kevin, and we need to get ORH on and Mike Lacquement and Ben Bogg and Michael, Busy Bee Detecting.
Yeah, it's deep with him. He's a busy guy.
Show us what you're finding. ORH. Nope. Laugh out loud. Imagine that. I kind of figured that.
Right, exactly.
There you go. But anybody wants to do that, contact Josh or me. Josh first. And we'd sure like to have you on there.
Yeah, everybody's got a story to tell.
Last month they did Frank Juarez in the club newspaper, and Kevin Barkley said Frank's member spotlight picture looked like a mugshot at the local jail. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. Shannon, you should get on.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the gals in here.
And I see Michael saying that Neo is his San Diego brother.
Oh, man, okay. Sometime soon, we'd love to have you, buddy.
Right, yeah, don't threaten us.
Well, what do you think?
Oh.
We blew that hour.
Oh, boy, yes, we did. That went quick.
Yeah, if any of you come up with any tidbits on this Vortec that I haven't seen or heard, or Josh hasn't, let us know. I'm interested. I will get them in stock. They will be in stock. And we'll have to go out and try to do a field test with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And, that's people, whether you're not looking to buy a machine or not, people always have an interest in what's the latest and greatest, what's coming out next.
Yeah.
So if the listeners or viewers happen to hear something else about the Vortex or any other new upcoming machine, pen pointer for that matter, we're always looking for feedback.
Yeah.
On
want to hear.
how is it working for you?
I learn a lot off my customers, my friends out there in the field. And ORH, I don't have cobbler or anything tonight. Jill, I'll go up and I'll get some ice cream out, a little chocolate on it, and have a dessert then. I didn't bake today. I made fresh batch of hot sauce. So we had brats on the grill. And that was the condiment. It was pretty good.
Now,
Yeah, I'm going to try and post a special, Shannon. I've got.
oh yeah,
I've got that I can put up. I'll try and do that tomorrow.
now
Careful, they see we got to play by the rules here. Everybody gets to do it at the same time, so that's when I do it, or a little after.
yeah, we don't want to jump the gun and get in some hot water. That's usually not a good thing.
Right.
But you had just mentioned you just did a batch of hot sauce, or
Yeah.
did you do a batch of salsa?
Well, salsa, it turned into hot sauce. I got a little, it's good. Put it on just a little spoonful of it. You want to be careful with that. It's actually 50-50. It's taco sauce and that kind of stuff. And I got a little careless with the habanero.
Little heavy with the peppers.
Yeah. I also made up salsa, but the first little batch.
That's all right.
Man, it's good though. No. Some people might.
I'm waiting. I mean, oh, I do. I'm waiting. The cayenne dragons are looking good. The habaneros are looking good. 2 nice looking apocalypse scorpion plants right outside the back door that I'm just waiting for them to produce.
That, you're going above my habanero, jalapeno. That's good stuff. You start getting into this 7,000 heat degree stuff above. You know, there's a particular scale they use. I can't remember it, but I know they use a scale on like ghost peppers and things like that. Yep. And then you go buy these challenge chips. I watch guys run around spitting them up. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't want one of them. Yep.
Yep. That's the way it is. We actually had a bag of jalapenos dropped off at the house the other day, and I was telling Tam, said we could turn them into poppers or, ooh, I know, rattlesnake bites.
Ooh. Well, Barb, she says it's a Scoville scale, and she asked
Yes,
if
it is.
Carolina Reapers. Nah, if you want them all you want.
I like Reapers. As a matter of fact, I want to say, I could be wrong, I want to say the Apocalypse Scorpion is a cross between the Trinidad and the Reaper.
Yeah, you're above my scale. Jalapenos, habanero.
Yeah, these things will make jalapenos taste like green peppers.
Yeah, I've got some that are just above a green pepper level, but that little orange habaneros I've got, oh man.
Hey, dynamite can come in small packages sometimes.
Yeah, they did just fine. Now, Travis, my son, he loves it in the Scoville scale, all the way down, up and down. And he liked what I made with that tonight that we put on the brats we did. He said, hey, now that's good. I said, I'm over there with tears coming out of my eyes. Well, it's a little past good.
See, you keep a little bit of that back, and that'll warm your chili up real good this winter.
And I could probably dump it in the fireplace and light it and warm the house. So,
well, it sounds like you've got a good batch on your hands.
Yeah, I do. I'll warn Jill before she tests it, though.
Oh yeah, you may want to give her a heads up just in case. That may not end real well for you if you just blindside her with it.
That's right. Yeah, Barks, you don't want to rub your eyes while working with habaneros or any hot pepper for that fact.
Yeah, yeah. Not just your eyes. You don't want to rub anything.
Yeah.
Not your nose, nothing.
Yep.
Oh, let's see.
And a little bit of the hot stuff in goulash too isn't too bad.
Oh, looks like Michael's saying his fire bread has scorpions. Oh, scorpions, reapers, and ghost peppers. I like it.
No.
I'll have to try that sometime if I ever get the opportunity to run into him when he's got it.
Yeah. Well, I've had Michael's sausage bread, and he had a little hotter version of that, and I had that, but I think at the one down there at Florida 8, he brought the hot stuff. I didn't try it. That makes for days.
You were kind of going, no thanks, not for me.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I'll get out of here. You guys have a great week. I'm going to go up ORH and have some sort of dessert. So.
Yep. We better let you get to your ice cream.
Yeah, I get some ice cream and then we'll get back on board here this Sunday, right? Got anything special?
I don't know right now. Things have kept me kind of preoccupied here because, rolling into that time for treatment and everything, it kind of keeps me hopping. So I'm doing good to be able to keep track of my days right now, I think.
There you go. All right. Thanks for having me on.
See what happens.
Yep. Everybody have a safe week. Go find something cool. Don't be afraid to get something good to call ahead and we'll send you a link. You can show it off.
Yeah. I'm down with that. Yeah.
That we should do once a week. Have somebody calling in with a find of the week. Show us the money.
Yeah, there you go. Trick Corner.
Yep. Sunday night, show me the money. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks, Josh.
Chuck.
Bye.
Yeah, that could be something too, treasure corner or whatever. Just we're looking for that money shot. What's that nice find that you made? And like we said, everybody's got a story. Whether you think it's a story or not, everybody's got a story to share. So don't be afraid to hit us up. Looked like Ben said something about he's game. Hit me with a message. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we can get you scheduled sometime. Same with Neo. I'm sure people would get a kick out of hearing from him if he's interested. I mean, everybody's got a story. And it's cool getting to hear from all of these different people sometimes, too. It has been a while since we've done a show with somebody off of the West Coast. Oh, good grief. I want to say the last one I did off the West Coast was Tony Eisenhower. Yeah, Tony Eisenhower. Great guy. All sorts of stories. Good show, too, if you can find that somewhere. Let's see here. Oh, looks like Mike's saying he's at work on Wednesdays and Sundays, so he can't. Huh. Well, you know what? For people like that, like normally we're here on Wednesdays and Sundays, but if if you're somebody who would be interested in being a guest on the show, and Wednesdays and Sundays just, it doesn't work for you, you can always shoot me a message too, and we can do kind of a pre-recorded thing where we can still run that on a Wednesday or a Sunday when you may not normally be able to be on the show, and then you're still on the show. You're still sharing your stories, your experiences. In Michael's case, maybe his adventures, and maybe even a couple of recipes for you outdoor cookers and smokers out there. Because I know Michael's got some good recipes. And that fire bread sounds phenomenal. I'll have to try that sometime. Definitely. Either way, we appreciate everyone for dropping in, as always. If you've had a grand time or enjoyed the conversation, had fun in the chat, chatting it up with everyone else, throw us a like. And if you're looking to be on the show, looks like we're starting to get things ironed out where we can start getting back to the guests, shoot me a message. Let me know, and we can make it happen. Have a wonderful evening, folks. We're out of here.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.